You will need knitting which needs correcting and a little bit of patience because you'll have to redo some stitches. When learning to knit, making mistakes is inevitable, and I think some mistakes just add character and act as proof that you have lovingly handmade something, so it isn't worth getting too stressed about these. The more you knit, the better you'll get and the fewer mistakes you'll make. But obviously, if you spot a mistake, you'll want to know how to fix it. Or you could knit a flower to sew over the mistake. Problem solved. There are so many mistakes you could make, so it's impossible to go through them, and instead, in this tutorial, I'll show you a good way to work back to the mistake, so you can correct it. This unknitting is handy for when your mistake is not too far back, but if you need to go back a few rows, have a look at our ripping out using a lifeline tutorial. The main thing to remember is not to just rip your knitting off your needles. Tearing all your knitting off and starting again is called a frog, and it can be really disheartening to have to start again. It's also super tricky to rip stitches off your needles to get rid of the mistake in the hope of getting them back on again. So instead, here is how to unknit. So here is a piece of stocking stitch, and I can see that a hole has appeared, and I seem to have too many stitches on my knitting. So with my knitting in my right hand, I'm going to unknit the stitches back onto my left needle. This first row is a knitted row, and you can see below each stitch is the stitch below, which looks like a lowercase n. Insert your left needle into the middle of this loop from the front to the back, and then slide it over onto your left needle. Then pull the wool still attached to the ball free. So identify the stitch below the one on your right needle, insert your left needle from the front to the back in the middle of this N, and then slide it across to your left needle, pulling the working yarn free. Here it is again. Left needle into the loop below the stitch on your right needle, through the middle of the loop from the front to the back, and then slide that loop onto your left needle and pull the working yarn away. And I've now reached the point where the hole was. And all that's happened is that I accidentally wrapped the wool around my needle twice. Maybe I thought I was going to purl. So I just undo the mistake, and then I can re-knit the stitches I've taken off. And I'm going to quickly show you how to unknit the row below, as that was a purl row. So technically, I'll be unpurling. It's very similar. Identify the stitch below the one on your right needle and stick your left needle into the center of that loop from the front to the back, kind of following the direction of the tail of the wool, and slide that stitch onto your left needle, pulling your working wool free. So left needle into the N shape below the loop on your right needle from front to back, slide that loop onto your left needle and pull your working wool free. Here it is again. Left needle into the loop below the stitch on your right needle from front to back, slide it across to your left needle and then free your working wool. And then you're ready to redo your purl stitches.